To you, this may seem meaningless, but to him, it meant the world, and he is a large part of my world. When enjoying the simple things became a burden to me, I decided to take a break from social media.
So I took an unplanned month off of my social media, off of posting on the Godly Mompreneur, and just off of everything. I didn't even homeschool, like officially homeschool, for a full month. The thing about homeschooling is that it's a lifestyle. So even if we're not sitting in our homeschool room doing some worksheets or some designated activities, we are still learning from everyday life. And the lesson that we learned in this past month goes even further than just having the right priorities in order, but actually learning to value every person that is in our lives, learning to cherish the time that we have, and learning to be present in the moment and really take in the seconds and the minutes and the hours of the day. And that is not something that is easy in this microwave generation. We are living in a time where people are expecting things to happen right away, and it gets really hard to process thoughts, emotions, and even project ideas. A lot of times we just throw ourselves in completely into those ideas and those plans without really thinking them through. And that is why they don't succeed. It's because there isn't an actual foundation or skeleton to hold up, the project or the goal. There's no blueprint that has been mapped out. And while winging it works for some people, it doesn't work in most cases. And so that is what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. My routine, even though I was winging it, okay? Since January of this year, I've been winging it on YouTube. I've been winging it on social media. I had all the right knowledge. I had all the right tools, but I was so excited to get it started that I just kept going without really taking the time to stop and evaluate the work that I was actually doing. And because I wasn't evaluating the work, I was not able to make the appropriate adjustments as they needed to be made or when they needed to be made. And so what happened was, even though I was producing, quality and quantity, especially quantity, my own health and the health of my marriage and the health of my family were taking a huge toll. So on the outside, everything looked great, but on the inside, things were deteriorating. And the Lord started talking to me about priorities and having my priorities in order. And this was a lesson that took me months to learn because I didn't fully grasp the essence of what the Lord was trying to teach me. It's not about just doing the right things at the right time for the right people, but it's also about understanding why, and again, valuing and cherishing those people and those things above my own personal ambitions or wants or desires even. So as some of you know, I had been living with some people for about a year and a half, and that just completely was a thing on its own, which I am grateful for. I'm grateful for all the lessons and all the refinement and all the maturing that took place. But also, when those people left and I became, the only housekeeper, the only house manager, things kind of fell through the cracks. I started to become tired because I was no longer accustomed to taking care of a full house. I was used to splitting the tasks and doing things half-half, and now from one day to the next, I was, doing things completely. And my home is not very small. It's not the biggest home ever, but it's pretty big. And for me, it was a lot to maintain. I was struggling to keep up with my housework. I was struggling to keep up with homeschooling. I was struggling to just spend time with my husband because I was always tired. So my kids were watching TV every day for hours. Like, I'm talking like 8 hours a day, from like waking up to going to bed. And the only times that they weren't watching TV was when we were eating. And even then, sometimes we were eating in front of the TV because I was being overwhelmed by exhaustion, fatigue, and even some shame, some guilt, some embarrassment, because I know that that's not the kind of person that I am, but I became that kind of person. And I would like to talk to you guys in a further video about how bad company corrupts good morals, or how, you know, different lifestyles can influence you to live your life the way that they live their lives, you know. So if I'm constantly watching shows, if I'm constantly looking at how other people live their lives, I'm gonna stop living mine. And that's pretty much what happened. I also became a workaholic instead of focusing on homemaking. It was so much easier for me to just focus on outside instead of address what was going on inside, because I knew that there was just so much to tackle and I really wasn't ready for it. But by God's grace, He brought me to a point where I was able to let go of those dead things that were burdening me or holding me down or holding me back. I was able by His grace to let those things go and to really move forward and to do well in it. I remember the first days where I put my phone down, or, you know, I just wasn't posting. I just was not shooting any videos for YouTube, even though I had the content ready. And I thought to myself, at first I was like, oh man, like, you know, I really need to post, I really need to post, I really need to post. And then my mindset and my perspective shifted. And then it became, I need to make sure that my house is in order before I go out there and encourage anyone or counsel anyone on how to keep theirs. So that's where I'm at today. On this channel, my goal and my desire is to really show you guys the truth, to show you guys real life, my successes and my failures. I want to show you guys real life. I want you guys to know the truth about homeschooling and its difficulties and its triumphs. I want you guys to know the truth about what it's like to be a homemaker, and what it's like to be a young wife, a young mother, what it's like to be a mother of 2 little ones and trying to build a brand for yourself and build a business and work hard, and how to balance all of these hats without compromising in any of the areas. And it does feel like a lot, but when you have the right priorities in place and you have the right methods in action, you are able to do it, and you are able to thrive and succeed in it. And that's what the Godly Mompreneur is all about. So if you guys haven't heard about the Godly Mompreneur yet, I encourage you to follow us at Godly Mompreneur on Instagram and to join the Facebook group, which is the Godly Mompreneur community, where I share tips and resources and experiences about what it's like to be a mompreneur, an entrepreneur. That's a mother that is seeking God and seeking God to as a priority, you know, not just sprinkling Jesus on the things that I'm doing, but really having Christ as the foundation and the reason for everything. And that is not super difficult, but not super easy either. It's actually simple, but it takes patience and obedience and sacrifice sometimes. Sometimes it means I'm not going to be as present on social media as everyone else, but what I realize is that I want to be the number one wife and the number one mother in my home before I even think or consider being number one anywhere else. Because if I'm failing my family, what's the point of succeeding everywhere else? So moving forward, I am not going to try and keep up with the Joneses. I'm not going to try and post as much as this or that person. I am going to do what works for me. And for now, that is posting once a week. I know that that's something I can commit to. I know that I can do it well. And I know that if I overcommit or overexert myself, chances are we're gonna have 1 month hiatuses, if that's even how you pluralize. But I'm gonna have 1 month hiatuses last month and maybe next month, and only God knows how many burnouts I'm gonna have if I do not handle my stuff now, before things really do get hectic, you know. And I remember having an influx in my business as well, and honestly I don't think I did so well. I pretty much botched it because I was late on my deadlines, you know. I was just scrambling. I will talk to you guys about that in another video, you know, because that's just too much to get into right now. Another thing that I am going to be changing is that I am no longer going to be an Usborne representative. So I might just delete the reviews that I did, because I don't want anyone to try and purchase from the link when I'm no longer a representative of Usborne. But it's not because I don't love Usborne. I do love Usborne, but again, that was just me trying to do the most, trying to overexert myself, trying to be someone special. But I realized that being special is not about doing everything or doing the most. It's about being you and doing that unashamedly, and doing that unequivocally, and doing that to the best of my ability. I'm going to be focusing on living in the present, on being present with my family, you know, building my friendship with my husband, really focusing on teaching my children and raising them up in the Lord and doing it well. I'm also working on some homeschool curriculum, which is going to be up on my website at Cantor Books, and it's going to be super affordable, $5 maybe for a booklet, and they're all going to be biblically based homeschool worksheets and homeschool activity guides and homeschool Bible studies for toddlers and young children. And that's really just to supplement, because there's many great curriculums out there. There's many great homeschool materials out there, and I don't think it's necessary for me to create another, you know, shape tracing book when there are so many great ones out there. But what I did realize, that there's a lack of Christ-centered content out there for children. So I want to be the change that I want to see in my community, and I encourage you guys, if there's something that you have noticed around you, something that is lacking, then be the change that you want to see in your community. I'm also going to be taking a step back from personal social media. I saw someone online who took a 6-month break from social media, and it just improved her quality of life overall. And I realized that I have been using my phone a lot. Like, my kids could be talking to me and I could be like, hold on, and I could be finishing a text, finishing a post, finishing a game, you know. And that's insane. That's insane that I would prioritize my phone or finishing a game over actually acknowledging my child in their time of need. That's horrible. It's something I needed to repent from. It's something that absolutely needed to change. And if you are at a point in your life right now where you have those moments where you struggle to put your phone down, put the phone down, sister. Honestly, it's not worth it. It's a phone. Like, you could come back to your message later. You know, your algorithm's not going to get jacked up just because you waited 3 hours to respond to a comment. Acknowledge your children. Be in the present. Live in the moment, you know. In simple terms, I have been downsizing my workload, disconnecting from social media as much as I possibly can, and just really focusing on living in the moment and being present with my husband, my children, and even my sister, my brothers, my mother, my family, the people that are actually there physically in my real life, instead of focusing on being somebody in the world. And so I am super grateful for this change of perspective. I didn't even know that this was a thing in my life until the Lord revealed it to me, and it was really something that I was sad to realize. I was sad to realize that I was not who I thought I was, and that I still had a lot of work to do to get to being that person. Alright, mamas, I do not want to take too long on this video. But if you want me to expound on any aspect of what I shared today, then let me know in the comments below, and it will do me a great pleasure to be able to share in more detail any aspect of the things that I've spoken about today. So that brings me to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know how you liked the intro. I worked really hard on it. I'm trying to be more creative and express myself in that way through video art. And I am just so excited to be back so that I can update you guys, let you guys know what's going on, and you guys pray for me because I'm gonna need it. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys very soon. God bless you. Bye.